index. That is something that, again, uses USDA raw data, and we create an index for the prime cuts of the hog. That is not traded. It is a service and a reference price like our new CME bacon index. Both of those are available on our website.
Fred Seaman with the CME Group. For more details, look for cmegroup.com/bacon index. This is the RFD Livestock Report. Hey, good day to you. Welcome to RFD Illinois. I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLoss Yankee. Hello there.
Hello. You know, we had some younger farm broadcasters in the building yesterday. Day before yesterday, actually. This week is flying by. But one of the things that you learn, and you learned it when you were on the radio in Kansas, and, you know, we try to be very sensitive to say some of the state, most of the state, you know,
Jim,
knowing.
My immediate... my first boss, Kelly Lenz, who started his career in Illinois, farm broadcaster.
That's amazing.
I don't know why you'd move if you had the job here, but his line was generally speaking.
Perfect.
Said that a lot, and when you're younger, you're like, what are you doing? But now, I understand later why he would always say generally speaking.
Right, because we're blessed beyond words that we have very loyal listeners, and when you give pasture ratings or crop report, we're very aware that Illinois is a big state. Yeah,
and I should have thought of this, that, you know, as wet as it is, and I was thinking about this would be a good chat of, as wet as that ground is, what kind of conditions on hooves, you know, just quality for cattle.
Right.
But they're going to rip if they go out there on grass, they're just going to rip it up.
Right.
You know, uproot it, and then where are you if you don't have any roots?
So we hear you in Henry County. Thanks for listening. You have a lot of numbers coming up, and we'll dive more into that trade news.
Oh boy, trade news. Whispers, rumors could become official later this week, maybe even today.
Markets and weather to come. Stay with us. All Ag.
All Illinois.
All now.
There are a lot of smartphone apps out there, but do they have what's important to us here in Illinois? The Farm Week Now app does, and it's always at your fingertips. All Ag, all Illinois, and 24/7 where and when you need it for free. Go to your app or Play Store on your smartphone, hit search, type in Farm Week Now, that's one word, and download it today. Brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau, where we're all about farm, family, and food.
Be it through headlines, microphones, or tweets, Mike Orso connects rural routes for you. Mike has been covering farm and food issues for more than 3 decades. Whether it's print, video, radio, or feeding your online appetite, Mike keeps you in the loop. Here's a bit about his rural roots.
I keep our communities, state, and country in mind with everything I do. My job allows me to work toward this mission with farmers and other rural Illinoisans.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Welcome back to RFD Illinois. I'm DeLoss Yankee with Illinois Farm Bureau President Rich Giebert. There's some speculation going through right now, some things that we do know that took place on Friday. News of Japan opening its markets for more U.S. beef, as well as the U.S. relaxing tariffs on steel and aluminum toward Canada and Mexico, which hopefully can be a very positive step in eventually ratifying U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. For both crops and livestock, getting back to duty-free trade would be huge victories.
It was a great day for agriculture. We saw a rebound in the markets, which is just tremendous. We've needed that to get something done. I hope it keeps going forward. And then we saw where there was some conversation with the Japanese, the lifting of the tariffs and them purchasing more beef and allowing more American beef into their marketplace. And then looking forward to this weekend with President Trump and the Japanese Prime Minister to sit down and have conversations with Lighthizer as well on a way forward with a bilateral agreement. Hopefully something can happen sooner than later. We've talked about this a lot, DeLoss. You know, we need some quick wins, some short wins, and I think we're getting some of that right now. I just hope there's more to the story.
Yeah, keep moving. The thing about USMCA, so still needs to be ratified. And we knew that holdup, this is when you're in that sales meeting and you give the objection, and then is that really the objection, or is there another one, or is there another layer of them? Because now we've removed that one. So let's see if that actually leads to something going on in the chambers.
Well, and I was on a conference call last Friday morning, several conference calls, but one with the AFBF Trade Advisory Committee, and there's a lot of sad faces there, you might say, that really didn't see a way forward, and then right after lunch, then everything started to break on the 232s. We really need now is to work with our congressmen and women is to get this on their plate, visit with Speaker Pelosi that she gets this on the docket, listen to Vice President Pence last night saying that they hope that they can get this to the floor sometime here this summer before they break for the August recess, and let's get this thing passed and move forward.
Illinois Farm Bureau President Rich Gebert talking about things we know from last week and then yesterday. Well, I don't like to talk about rumors, but when they move the soybean market 20 cents a bushel in just a few minutes, then it certainly becomes noteworthy. I saw this first from Mike Dorning at Bloomberg right around noon, where he tweeted that trade aid payments are being considered and that an announcement could be as early as Thursday. And that's one of the main reasons why soybeans dropped and they settled down 9 cents yesterday. And we'll have overnight markets with Jim Taylor in just a little bit. All right, some vastly different stories on both sides of the state from two of the 5 members of the Crop Watchers 2.0 team. In eastern Illinois, Greg St. Aubin says after much discussion with his farming partners and their crop insurance agent, they've reevaluated the planting strategy. St. Aubin says a few fields had been planted in Kankakee County at the end of April, and some additional work did get done late last week, but he says for the most part, he and other farmers in his area still await an open window to get into fields.
I think the decision we've made in this area, or at least our operation, when we do have an opportunity, we are going to concentrate heavily on corn. Our hope this year was that we would be able to plant corn and beans at the same time, but I think our philosophy now is when we have an opportunity to plant corn, all of our resources are going to go into that.
On the western side of the state, Crop Watcher 2.0 team member Colby Hunt wants some heat. Hunt says it may be wet and it may be cold, but he's thankful to have about 80% of his corn crop planted and close to half of his soybeans in the ground, too.
Try to get as much done before the rain as we can. We're out scouting today, looking at crops, finding weeds, replant areas. So we'll do what we can when we can. That's the thing about the weather is you can't do anything about it, so you just take it as you get it and be thankful for what you've got done.
To see a video of what Hunt's corn looks like as it has emerged on his McDonough County farm and see photos provided by the other 4 Crop Watchers 2.0 team members from around the state, check out the story in today's FarmWeekNow.com daily update in your email box or online at FarmWeekNow.com. Rita has more crop updates as well as other news coming up in just a little bit on a Wednesday, RFD, Illinois.
Farm Week and FarmWeekNow.com journalist Daniel Grant connects rural routes for you. With more than 2 decades of reporting under his belt, Dan is the go-to source for farmers when it comes to commodities. Here's a bit about his rural roots.
I grew up on a grain and livestock farm near Roseville in Warren County. What I love about my job is working with people, traveling across Illinois, and visiting farms along the way.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
The Illinois economy runs on our homegrown agricultural products. Our dairy, beef, pork, corn, and soybeans grow the agricultural industry by nearly $20 billion each year. But we don't just grow Illinois, we grow North America. Canada and Mexico account for over $45 billion in U.S. agriculture exports, and they support more than 1 million American jobs. Exports to Canada and Mexico matter to everyone in the agriculture and food industries.
A message from Illinois farmers and their checkoff programs. May is Beef Month in Illinois, and there is no better time to highlight the cattlemen's commitment to quality within every segment of the beef industry. Cattlemen and women are committed every day, rain or shine, to taking care of their cattle. This commitment ensures that quality care leads to a quality product. What's more, 4,500 cattle farmers in Illinois are certified through the Beef Quality Assurance Program, which reinforces the importance of thoughtful, responsible beef production. A message from Illinois' beef producers and their checkoff program.
We're back here on RFD, Illinois. I'm Rita Frazier. Well, even though chances are diminishing for record-breaking corn and soybean yields this year, with the rain, we'll look for every silver lining we can. One may be for cover crops. Kent Casson has this report.
Pro-harvest seed specialist Jay Whalen has been contacted by a few customers about backup plans for those fields which aren't eligible for prevent plant insurance coverage.
We're actually thinking of maybe being able to cut and bale for hay the acres that we have cereal rye on, because there's such a feed shortage just in the United States. We're looking at maybe some profit opportunities with the cover crops that we have here. So if we could cut it and bale it, sometimes you can get 3 to 4 ton an acre of hay from the cereal rye and be able to sell that then and have a little more income and a little more profit.
If nothing else, producers can plant cover crops on prevent plant acres to suppress weeds.
The biggest thing is it is in the guidelines. You cannot harvest it or graze it if you file for the prevent plant at least until after November 1st.
Reporting from Livingston County for the RFD Radio Network, I'm Kent Casson.
Thanks, Kent. From Livingston County to Madison County, we talked to Kyle Brazzi there near Hamel, as Kyle has visited with a lot of farmers, and it seems every situation is different with the decisions here in late season 2019.
Every farm that you talk to has different coverage levels, different yield histories, different acreage histories as to what they can put into their business situations to work for their farm. In some cases, it may be to take a prevent plant scenario. In other cases, there may be more money to be made from just planting your crop and allowing your coverage to work for yourself or for your operation to go through the harvest.
It's interesting because, you're talking, in a management and a numbers conversation where, as you told me earlier, every guy or gal that you talk to is a farmer first.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we all want to plant our crop, and even the guys I hear mention prevent plant would always still rather grow and produce a crop and have the pride in their land and their farm to be out there and harvest that and take care of it for the summer. But in some cases, it may not work out for some people, and certainly where there's some flooding in areas where there'd just be very little hope for some of that to be put in this year. But everybody, I think, wants to grow a crop first.
And let's go back to that, the one of the words that you said there, hope and history. You've been in the field planting in June.
Yeah, if you look back over our history, my Uncle Bill reminds me of these things a lot, too. He said, we used to never start planting until the 10th or 15th of May. And we still raised good crops, but I was married in 1999, and it's going to be my 20th anniversary this year on June 5th. And, we were still planting corn on June 5th when I left and was, very nervous about that at that time, and we still had good crops. And I think it was 2007 or 8, we planted a lot of corn in June and had 160, 70 bushel farm averages in a lot of the people that we talked to and worked with at that time. So we know we can do it. We want to get a crop in and start it and then kind of pray for the right weather after that to allow it to complete.
A couple minutes remain. We want to get an update on the wheat crop. You mentioned earlier, so at Robert Bellum, you guys are a team. You've sprayed. Tell us what your wheat looks like today.
It's impossible for me to give you a yield scenario as we look at it today. I don't feel like the wheat looks really bad, but we don't know how bad the fusarium head scab will be, the blight. So we did get all of the acres sprayed for the most part where we felt like we had really good wheat, our manageable wheat yet. We feel like we got that timing down as close as we could, and Robert and I and Andrew all spent a lot of time trying to make sure we get that exactly at 10.51 to the best of our ability. I can't say for sure. Now, if you look at the university websites and you look at the scab prediction, I've never seen that map so red. These are very bad conditions that we're dealing with environmentally for it, and we could have some quality concerns even after we sprayed.
What's your takeaway, or, on all fronts?
Some of the fields, there's some planting done in our area, and I know it's less than 20% of the corn planted in our area, and certainly less than 10% of the beans. And as we look at some of the fields, one of my concerns even driving around is I don't know what those yields or what the potential will be for some of those products either. We're going to work really hard to get something planted, get something moving and done, and we're going to stay positive about it and do our best to plant our crop.
Kyle Brazzi, Madison County. In Hancock County, Terry Pope not only watches his wet fields, but a concern again for river levels as they rise in western Illinois.
The issue with the river, it's up again, so the locks are closed, no barge traffic, and that's been a real problem because farmers like to move grain, but there's no place to go because the elevators on the river have to empty into the barges, and then they can bring grain in. We were fortunate that I think here a week ago, some of the local elevators got some tows up and were able to move some grain onto those barges. The issue is they still can't get down through the St. Louis area. We're moving grain, but we're not getting it to the end user like we need it. A lot of grain from Hancock County, like other counties, is exported, and we need the river to get to levels where grain can move downriver and get down to the exporters.
You've had a lot of planting seasons, Terry Pope. How many have you been where you're in the latter part of May and just sitting?
My first year of full-time farming was when I graduated from college in 1973, and that's back when the University of Illinois went into June. And I just remember my dad called around the 25th of May and said, if you're going to farm, you need to come home. And he said, we haven't been in the field. That's how I started my farming career, and I think we've had maybe two others since then that really got this late. Usually, even though it's late, we tend to get the crops in. We know there's going to be some yield loss, but that's just part of farming.
Hancock County farmer Terry Pope near Burnside. Let's break for markets and weather.
With the RFD Ag Market Summary for this Wednesday morning, I'm Jim Taylor. Corn higher, beans lower, and wheat ending Tuesday slightly higher. July corn closing at $3.94 1/4, up 5 1/4. September corn up 6, $4.02 3/4, and December corn $4.10 1/2, up 6. July beans closing at $8.22, down 9 3/4. August beans down 9 3/4, $8.28 3/4, and September beans $8.35 1/2. Down 9 1/2. July wheat closing at $4.78 3/4, up 1/2. September wheat up 3/4, $4.86. December wheat $4.98 1/4, up 1/2. July bean meal $2.95.30, down $2. July bean oil $27.14, down 36 cents. In current electronic overnight trading, July corn down 6 1/4. September corn down 5 3/4. December corn down 4 1/4, $4.06 1/4. July beans in the overnight up 1/4. August beans down 1/2. September beans down 3/4, $8.34 3/4. July wheat in the overnight down 7 1/2. September wheat down 8 1/4, and December wheat down 7 1/2, $4.90 3/4. July Brent crude oil 72.18, up 21 cents. The June gold contract 12.7370, up $0.50. In the livestock market from Tuesday, June lean hogs 90.10, down 165. July lean hogs 91.37, down 162. June live cattle 110.85, down $0.50. August live cattle down 1/4, 108.27. May feeders 134.37, up 22 cents. August feeders down 177, 143 even. Illinois direct barrels and gilts trading weak on Tuesday at 50 to 58. That's the RFD Ag Market Summary for this Wednesday morning. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather with the early morning ag weather update on the RFD Radio Network for this Wednesday morning. Another round of rain and thunderstorms spread northeastward across the Midwest yesterday through last night. It looks like rainfall amounts through early today in the half-inch to inch-and-a-half range have been fairly common across Illinois. It was a cool day yesterday over the northern half of the state with highs mainly in the 50s. Some warmer air did return to far southern Illinois, though, with readings making the low 80s by late in the afternoon. Some showers are expected early today in southern and eastern Illinois before this system moves on to the east, and drier weather returns to more of the state during the day today. Daytime highs today will be in the 60s and 70s over the northern half of Illinois, 70s and 80s in the southern half. The weather pattern does look warmer, but also quite active for tomorrow through the Memorial Day weekend. Another system will bring some rain and thunderstorms to the region tomorrow into Friday, and again at least some half to 1 inch rainfall amounts are expected in most areas, with a few locally heavier. During the Memorial Day weekend, rain chances will tend to favor the northern through western parts of the Midwest, while in the Ohio Valley, rainfall during this time will be more spotty. Temperatures should be near to above normal across the region over the holiday weekend, with 70s and 80s fairly common. Any cooler conditions will be more common farther to the north and to the northwest of Illinois. An active weather pattern will continue next week into the 6 to 10 day time frame. It does look like 6 to 10 day rainfall amounts will average near to above normal across a large part of the Midwest. Some far southern areas may have below normal amounts. 6 to 10 day temperatures should average near to above normal here in Illinois. No long dry spells are seen in the upcoming future. Right now it looks like 11 to 15 day rainfall amounts will average at least normal in most areas. Once again, I'm Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather.
Are you preparing for planting season? We don't mean to be a pest, but here's a few things you need to know before you grow. The Illinois Department of Agriculture now requires special local needs labels, including new restrictions for the use of herbicide dicamba on top of soybeans in Illinois for the 2019 growing season. Did you know these additional restrictions go beyond federally approved labels? Remember, the label is the law. To find out more about these Illinois-specific labels, visit ilfb.org/label-aware.
If you're in the mood for some sprucing up, you're in luck. From big to small or farm to front yard, your Illinois Farm Bureau member discount from John Deere is ready and waiting to help. It's easy to think green when it's the Rewards Loyalty Program with savings on equipment, special parts, and home and workshop products. Whether your tasks involve mowing, planting, or cleaning, you'll be set for whatever your work requires. All you need to do is sign up, have your membership number handy, and go to johndeere.com/Farm Bureau.
Attention, Illinois farmers. You won't want to miss this field day at SIU Carbondale University Farms. It's your chance to hear from industry experts about ongoing research and how it will benefit your farm. Join us on June 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with free lunch included. This is a joint effort of the SIU College of Agricultural Sciences, Illinois Nutrient Research and Education Council, and Illinois Farm Bureau. You must pre-register at illinoisnrec.org and click on upcoming events.
RFD Radio Network's DeLoss Yankee connects rural routes for you. DeLoss delivers essential farm and food-related news to our listeners. His witty voice has been heard on the air for more than 2 decades. Here's a bit about his rural roots.
Growing up on a farm prepared me for my career. I try to know a little about a lot of things and let the people I interview be the experts. I've always wanted to be on the radio. I'm just happy to do what I enjoy.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
That is all the time we have for this edition of RFD Illinois. Let's salute a town.
Let's salute a town over in Hancock County, Burnside. In Pilot Grove Township.
Home of Terry Pope.
Can you get any better than Terry Pope?
I don't think